Hello lovely people, my name's Kai and I'm one of the vicars in the LMA of Aberystwyth, and I'm here in St Michael's Church, which is one of 5 of our church buildings in our LMA. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what it's like coming back to church in a post-COVID world. As many of us know, last year was a year that shook the world. Our church buildings, for the first time in nearly 1,000 years, were closed before gradually reopening. And that has meant that when we did open up, there was a lot of uncertainty and sometimes a lot of fear about what would happen when we would come to church. But there are a lot of rules and guidelines in place to keep everybody safe. And in the world where COVID restrictions are being eased more and more, rules and guidelines in place to help people be comfortable at where they are at. So today I'm just going to talk you through all the various things that you need to do and we do to keep us all safe as we return to church. So the first thing you need to do is book into church. And this is going to be the case for the next month or so at least. We still require people to book in if you're intending to come to church, to tell us who's coming. You can do this via Church Suite if you have a Church Suite account, or you can phone the office or email us as well. When you are booked in, we ask you to come on a Sunday morning. And before you enter into the building, the first thing we ask you to do is to put on a face mask. Of course, in a lot of the world, as we know already, face masks aren't used, but here in church they still are, to make sure everybody is comfortable and safe. After you put on the face mask, you'll walk into a church building. We'll be asked firstly to sanitize your hands. Then one of our friendly wardens or helpers or greeters at the door will welcome you, ask your name after you've booked in, of course, and then we'll instruct you on where to sit. Where you sit depends on where you are at. At the moment, some people are very comfortable in sitting with others, and the rules allow that to happen. But others, people like me, perhaps people who are vulnerable or just aren't ready to sit around lots of people yet, have the freedom to sit with a good distance away from others as well, 2 meters or more. And if you, like me, are one of those people, we'll give you a little sign that just says to mark out that you're vulnerable. And in that way, everyone will respect it and we will all feel safe. When we're in church, we'll ask you to keep your face mask on unless you have an exemption. And if you have to do little things like get up, go to the toilet, so make sure you sanitize your hands as well. When we sing, and we are now together in all our churches, again, we ask people to keep their masks on, as is the guidance and the rules we're currently working under, to keep everyone safe. After the service, we get up and we leave in an orderly fashion. And in all our churches now, we are offering tea and coffee as well. That will change according to each building. Here in St Mike's, it's happening outside. In other churches, it's happening within the church or a church hall. And people are sat in 6s at the table and their coffee is brought to them. Conversation can happen and we can enjoy being in each other's company. After that, we are free to go home until we come back together again. Now I know that a lot of people will be really unhappy with the rules and the guidelines. Who of us doesn't want everything to go back to how it was before last March? But let's remember, these guidelines are in place for each and every one of us to keep us all safe and to keep us all comfortable. They meet us where we were at, and they give us all the opportunity to come and worship the Lord together and be part of the return to church, be part of the mission of God and to worship His name where we're at. And I just want to say, if you're anxious about coming back to church, we have things in place to deal with that. If you're confident, we'd like to welcome you. And really, we want to welcome all people back. And whether you are coming back after being an attender for years and years and years, whether you haven't come back yet since COVID, or whether you're just dabbling your toe into this thing called Christianity, we would love to welcome you. Together, let us worship the name of the Lord, and may we bless His holy name.